In this video, we're going to find probabilities using proportions. Probability of an event states the likelihood that the event will occur. If we have the probability of an event, we can then make predictions about what would happen if the event happens multiple times. To find this prediction, we can use a proportion. A proportion is two equivalent ratios. Let's go through a couple examples together. This first one says that a bag has 10 marbles in it. It has 2 blue, 3 green, and 5 yellow marbles in it. Justine is going to randomly select a marble from the bag, and she's going to do this 75 times. What is the best prediction for how many times she will get a blue marble? The first thing we need to do is write the probability of getting a blue marble as a ratio. How many blue marbles are there? There are 2 blue marbles. That's the numerator in our ratio. How many total marbles are there? There are 10 marbles. That's the denominator in our ratio. Now we could simplify this to 1/5, but it's not necessary. The next step is to write the other side of our proportion. Since we have blue in the numerator on the left, we must have it in the numerator on the right. And then since we had total marbles in the denominator on the left, we must have that in the denominator on the right as well. We're going to solve this to get a prediction of how many times we get a blue marble out of 75 total times. We don't know how many blue, so we can use an X. And we're going to have 75 total. Now we can cross multiply and get 2 times 75 equals X times 10, or 10X. 2 times 75 is 150, and that's going to equal 10X. The next step is to divide by 10 so that we can isolate that variable and get X by itself. But what you do to one side, you must do to the other. 150 divided by 10 is 15. So if we drew a marble out of the bag 75 times, we could predict that we would get a blue 15 times. Go ahead and pause the video and try this next one on your own. When you're ready, hit play and we'll see how you did. Now let's see how you did. It says a spinner is labeled with the following letters. What is the best prediction for how many times a spinner would land on a vowel if it was spun 25 times? The first step is to write the ratio for the probability of spinning a vowel. There are 2 vowels, A and E, and there are 10 total letters. On the other side of our proportion, we don't know how many vowels we get, so we can have X vowels. And we're going to be spinning to get 25 letters. Now that we have our proportion filled out, we can cross multiply to solve for that variable. We have 2 times 25 is going to equal X times 10, which is 10X. 2 times 25 is 50, and then we can divide out 10 from both sides to isolate that variable. 50 divided by 10 is 5. So if we spun the spinner 25 times, we would expect to get a vowel 5 times.